Hey Zeleepers, this is SuperZombGBBQ, and today we are going to be talking about Season 3. And why are we talking about Season 3? Because thinking about the future and guessing about what's going to take place is always fun. Everyone likes to have a little bit of a guess about what's going to happen in the future, and that's what we're going to be doing today. But also putting a little bit of opinion into it. Now, I've been looking at a couple of responses. I've been getting over the news about Season 3 dropping later than expected and towards the fall of 2016. Some of the reactions have been quite interesting. So I devised this 3-part series. I'm going to talk about, first of all, what things need to change from the current setup. And what I mean by that is, what element of the game is at this point and needs to become something over here to make the game better for other people. The second subject we're going to do, which will pop up over here when the video is live, is talking about the things that need to go, the things that are in the SuperCard right now that need to be burnt to the ground and thrown into a ditch and never to return again. These are the things that cause problems in the game. It's just off a personal viewpoint and maybe something that has been brought up by other people in the past. The last thing we're going to look at is going to be new things need to come into WWE SuperCard Season 3 for it to be an amazing game. First of all, we're going to start off with what things need to change. Season 2 has had a fantastic run. We're going to have SummerSlam tier, or potentially SummerSlam tier, coming out very, very soon. At this point, we're at the beginning of August 2016. How you can take what's good and make it better, or take what's bad, flip it around, and actually becomes a really good element of the game. The first one I'm going to deal with is actually something that's very, very controversial, and that is packs. My opinion, and not from someone who gets packs a lot, I believe that the packs should be way, way cheaper than what they are. They are way over expensive. And in Season 1, they did start to drop the prices of packs towards the end in terms of the Legendary to Survivor cards. I think as long as the cards become less and less relevant, I believe that the developers should be scaling back and should be making packs, for example, like the Legendary pack, Legendary to Survivor, and making only 2,500. Epic pack goes down to, let's say, 1,000. It's going to entice more people to play the game, pick it up at a later stage. I think that's only a good thing. Things like Throwback should go down in price over the time until obviously new ones come out. And I personally think that the idea that there isn't a higher chance Throwback pack that's available is something that needs to definitely change. On top of that, there needs to be a lot more discounts, a lot more thought behind the discounts as well. At the moment, the sales just seem a little bit too straightforward and not really well thought out. They're just there. They just happen every day. My opinion is they should be a hell of a lot less than what they are. They should be 10% minimum discount, which is what they are at the moment, but they should be more 50% every so often. They should drop the prices of them for special events weekends, for example. On a pay-per-view, maybe all packs go down to half price for certain pay-per-views, let's say like WrestleMania. And when a tier becomes irrelevant, half the price at the end of the day, yes, it's the person's choice if they want to pay the money to get the packs in the first place. At the moment, it seems like they're just charging a lot for something that's not really, really relevant. Also, for pack rates going forward, I'm happy for lots to be charged for packs if it's going to avoid having Survivor cards in SummerSlam packs or Legendaries in WrestleMania packs. I would be happy for card packs to actually go up in price if there's to guarantee you're going to get a Survivor or a WrestleMania card, not just to get a Legendary Survivor WrestleMania, because we all know that if you go for one of those packs, it is going to open up, as you've seen in my pack opening video, with lots and lots and lots of Legendaries. You're unlikely to pick up more than 1 or 2 WrestleMania cards in almost 30 to 45,000 credits. It's quite insane. I have a thing that I think this should change, and people are going to probably hate me for saying this. I think that divas as a term is going to be irrelevant. My opinion is that women should be in the normal packs as well as part of the WrestleMania cards or Survivor cards that are available, or SummerSlam cards that are available. That would mean that people who do want to spend money in the game to get that one up do have the option of doing that. Now, I'm not saying that just for myself, I'm saying that for a lot of people who have a lot of difficulty getting themselves that first Pro Diva. If they decide to invest in the game and start using game packs, they should have the opportunity to do so and obtain themselves a female. I won't call them a diva anymore because they're no longer divas, they are women who are wrestlers, basically, and I think that's fantastic. But obviously SuperCard at the moment class them, as you can see on the screen, as divas. Now, the second thing that definitely needs to change, and this is one thing that a lot of people ask for, throwback packs need to become pullable from the board. What I mean by that is a random shot, alternatively, just a random card from the tier. It should be maybe a half chance lower than maybe, I don't know, the normal WrestleMania cards to pull off the board. Throwback cards or a throwback pack should be something that's obtainable. And just like, let's say, games like FIFA, packs should be able to be things that are obtainable. So, for example, if you win 5 King of the Rings in a row, you'll get access to a legendary pack, which you might get yourself a WrestleMania, you might get yourself a normal, I don't know, normal legendary card. You could even incorporate it into PCC and say if you get yourself into the top 150, not only will you get yourself an event card, a legendary to WrestleMania pack to go along with that, which would entice people to push forward. The next thing is actually event we're playing now, which is the Divas PCC. My opinion is that the Divas event, the PCC event, needs to be better. The actual event itself is quite tired, it's long, it needs to be completely remodeled around the way people play games now. We were starting this tier with PCCs up to 8,000 to 9,000 points. We're now at the end of the tier and we've got 5,000 to 6,000 points. That should speak volumes about the fact that the PCCs just aren't popular anymore. They aren't as well thought after anymore as they used to be. Yes, some people do still go crazy to get themselves to the top, but let's be real, there's only a few people going for it. I mean, just the drop in points alone is quite crazy, and this is supposed to be one of the hardest PCCs available. The last PCC I had a diva in it went for like nearly 8,500 to 9,000 points to get a diva. This one is going to be end up at probably about 3,000 points less. That says alone that the rewards need to change. There's a lot I could go for as to how to change it, but I've said it in previous videos. Go check them out. My opinion is there should be more than one event card awarded, and the PCC for the rewards you go for should reward you with those rewards back, should give you more punch. If you're getting yourself into top 500, you should get yourself a second event card, which you can obtain through things like Money in the Bank mode or a different game mode they could put in. Who knows? And the next thing may be something that they're doing anyway, because they are allowing now for Season 1 cards in Season 3 to be available whenever, as long as you go through the feedback team, and this is a one-off process they're offering. But I've got tons of Season 1 cards where I've got, let's go to the uncommon for Season 1. Let's just go down to, we've got Alberto Del Rio here, for example. Or we could go to Batista, or I could go to Brock Lesnar, right? Just imagine being able to use this image. I personally feel that the entirety of Season 1 cards, Season 2 cards, if you've unlocked the images, and Season 3 cards, you should be able to use them on cards going forward. You shouldn't be restricted to ones you've just ported over. Maybe this is something that may not be able to do, but if you've pulled the card, as far as I'm concerned, you've got access to the card and able to use that going forward. Maybe that's also a licensing thing, but who knows at this point. Another thing which is going to be slightly controversial on my part, and I totally appreciate that certain events such as Road to Glory and Ring Domination are not easy for certain people, but there are ways of getting around the difficulty in many different fashions. If you watch my channel, you probably know what those are. My opinion is that Road to Glory and Ring Domination both need to be significantly harder towards the end of those events to offer a challenge to the people who are playing it. If I give you an example now, I can guarantee you that the first 4 to 6 weeks of SummerSlam tier will be hell on earth for most people who are playing the game. As soon as you've got yourself 2 or 3 SummerSlam pros and 2 or 3 SummerSlam event pros, the events become easy. It's a breeze to get through. You barely have any troubles. You should be feeling like you have no alternative but to drop down or potentially have to spend more money to actually get yourself to the end of that, and every single Road to Glory going forward, because it offers more of a challenge. 2.5 days is how long it takes to do a free Road to Glory. People are competing in 2 days for free. It's ridiculous, and personally, the difficulty needs to be something that's at least given an option, at least for the plus 10s or plus 5s in the game. That's just my opinion. It's something that, whilst controversial, every game has to have difficulty. Otherwise, this is just another version of Slam Tops where the cards dance. We've said about card limits in the past. Card limits need to go up. At the moment, the card limit is at 165. It's something that has been increased only just now. My opinion is that this needs to go up even further. It needs to be a lot higher than what it is now. I would say 200, especially if you're storing Season 1 cards. I'd say even 250 probably is going to be needed going forward if a lot of people are obtaining Season 1 cards. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think about the card limit in the comment section below. I can tell you now that just that alone has improved my PCC experience bar none. I've not had much time to play. I've been stopped by a criminally low card limit, and I've got 15 extra cards, which is literally about 5 or 6 games which I can get through without having to then stop. And that pushes up the points you can earn and potentially additional money that's been made by titles as well. Especially for game modes like Road to Glory and Ring Domination. Halfway through the tier, you've got loads of WrestleMania or SummerSlam cards or Survivor cards, and you don't know what to do with them, and you can't do anything with them, so you end up playing 1 or 2 games of Ring Domination or 4 or 5 games of Road to Glory, and you hit the card limit again, and it's tedious. So if they was to increase it to 200, 250, whatever's possible, or if they could make it unlimited until maybe 500 or something crazy like that, that would be one of the biggest things that changed, would make such a huge difference to WWE SuperCard going forward. And the last one is something that I'm not necessarily agreeing with, but a lot of people have said this to me. Maybe this is just something that needs to be improved, and I don't know how you could improve this. But one of the things that's the biggest difference between SuperCard Season 1 and Season 2 is the token system. The ability to token your cards the way you want to. Now, there's a lot of people saying that this needs to be scrapped entirely. The fact that you have to play games to get your tokens up. This is something that I feel needs to change. It doesn't need to go entirely. I think that the ability to use tokens maybe should be increased. I feel that you should have more tokens, and you shouldn't have to train up a full card from scratch or 2 cards from scratch to be able to level up your cards. Maybe make it the leveling up harder by making it, let's say, 40 out of 40 instead, maybe like back to the levels of Season 1. But that's just my opinion on the subject. I feel that the tokening and games playing system is a great idea, but maybe too much for the latter tiers. It just kind of forces people to play, or forces people to use their teams to kind of level up their cards, and that just doesn't promote good game playing. And ultimately, I mean, I'll be honest with you, towards the end of the tier, although I've got all my cards I need anyway, I don't really need any additional new cards, but this is the first King of the Ring I played in like a week. For me, not having, let's say, Bray Wyatt, which is the most recent event card, or a Diva Pro, for me means that I'm not going to go into King of the Ring knowing that other people have just had the time to do it when I've been working or I've been really busy at home doing lots of different things. But again, opinions wise, what do you think needs to change about WWE SuperCard going forward to take it from a brilliant game it is now, with it has flaws, to an incredible game which is just going to keep you hooked? That's going to be it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to check out the other 2 videos talking about what needs to go back into a grave and forgotten about, and also what needs to come in, what new stuff needs to come in that's going to turn the game from being what it is now to something incredible going forward. Remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more WWE SuperCard content and Slam content. Subscribe anyway, because you get notified about when I upload new videos. Thank you for watching. That's it from me. One last thing, as always, Zombie!